I recently manifested the perfect house for our little family. We got it below market value with favorable terms, and it's four doors down from one of my best friends, and it's in a very, very tiny, exclusive school district. Now, we got this house after initially losing out to it twice, and there were two other offers that were accepted, and then we put another offer, and then that also wasn't accepted. So all this happened before the universe rearranged things and it dropped right into our lap after a few plot twists that were quite emotional, but they left me wondering if we'd ever buy this house. So today I'm telling this manifestation story. I want to tell you how I use my vision board, prosperity affirmations, and the law of detachment to effortlessly manifest this property. And the thing about all of this is, unlike times previously, I wasn't consciously doing all of this, but I knew about these principles of manifestation, but they're just so ingrained in my routine now that I didn't notice that I'd done it until I did it. And that's probably the law of detachment in action. And with this episode, my intention is to demonstrate to you that getting what you want is quite easy using proven manifestation techniques. I want to show you how, with a little effort and focus, you can start to bend reality to achieve the goals that will create for you, in this instance, long term wealth. So here's the story. We started looking for a house back in the end of June. This house we ended up buying was at the top of our budget, but it was really good value. So we just decided to look at it. We toured it and we put in an offer. We thought, yeah, it ticks a lot of our boxes. It looks great. There's actually an amazing opportunity here for forced equity. Instead of just buying something that was already done, we can actually put some money into it and add to the value of the property. And also, it's on a big piece of land. So that's amazing too, long term. So when we put in this offer, we were super happy about it. Um, and we were kind of talking about, my mum and I, like, oh, I have a strong feeling we're going to get this house. But then we didn't get this house. So the other intention part of this is, I want to inspire you that if things aren't where you want them to be right now, if you feel like you're in a challenge or a really hard time, or you're just kind of in a dip where there's darkness around you, struggling to see the light, I want to let you know that challenging times are a signal of a new dawn coming and that things are changing for you. And that is something I want to inspire you to think about today. Okay, getting into the manifestation techniques. On my vision board for a couple of years now, I've had this view of farmland, like in the just three pictures of beautiful green farmland with trees. And this is what I imagined to be like the view from the property that we were going to buy. So this has been my vision board for a while, but it wasn't until probably about a month ago. So it corresponds quite well with this timeline. I've talked in previous episodes about my depressive episode. I went through like a really dark time, a 2 month long depressive episode. But as a way to get out of that, I started to commit to myself every day, non negotiable, to start walking on my treadmill no matter what. It was just something that I was going to do. And that was it. So I put in front of my treadmill this vision board with these three pictures of this farmland. So that was one manifestation technique. I had vision board images in front of me, walking every day for at least 30 minutes. And also, there were like interior pictures of a house too. So that's another thing. I was looking at house pictures. I was also curiously one day kind of shuffling, grabbing my notepad out of my purse and moving to my office, when mysteriously some little post-it notes popped out. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. It was a Catherine Ponder affirmation that fell out of my notebook. So I looked at them and I was like, oh, I remember when I used these last, I manifested an incredible motorcycle of my dreams. So let me just insert the word house instead of the word motorcycle, and I'm going to read those aloud. So that's what I did. I was like, oh, that's kind of random. Let me quick do that. But I actually have the affirmations here. So let me quick read it to you. So the affirmations are, they're so great. And you can see, like, if you're watching the video, this piece of paper is like scrunched up, it's got tape on it, it's totally scribbled. So these are the Catherine Ponder affirmations from her prosperity book. Jesus Christ now manifests the perfect house that produces a wonderful living situation now. The second affirmation, Jesus Christ is here selling me a house now. Those two manifestations worked like a charm. Literally, I said them on the day, and I'll get to the story, but I literally said them on the day where I was getting so annoyed and frustrated that we hadn't bought a house yet. Nothing new was coming on market. And I was like, fuck, I'm just going to say these affirmations, literally no prospects or any kind of leads in front of me right now. And I don't even know how Jesus Christ is going to find me and sell me a house right now because I'm not even seeing houses to be bought. So I just, when I reflect on that, I'm like, they popped into my hand at the right time because the story is crazy. And I think what those affirmations set into motion is bananas. I'm going to get to that. For now, more manifestation techniques. Okay, the second thing is I had the Four of Wands pinned on my wall in the kitchen. This is a tarot card. It's still pinned on my wall in the kitchen. I didn't prepare enough to actually get that and show it to you, but it's the Rider Tarot deck. I'm going to show you the deck here. This is the one that I have, so go look it up. The Four of Wands is so beautiful. It has the four wands in the picture, strung with like beautiful flowers, and there's a couple, a male and a female, standing there joyously. They're kind of in like ceremonial clothes, and the whole picture is just very celebratory. And then there's like a castle house behind them. So in my head I'm like, that's really cool. Like, this is what I want this vibe of like celebration, joy, settlement, and also, you know, that grounding piece, but celebratory, buying a house, those are the vibes. So I put it up in my kitchen, and I looked at this probably, can't even tell you, countless times every day, every single day for a couple of months. And I think it worked because I was like, that's the house. We're buying a house. That's going to be me and my husband buying a house, joyously celebrating. So that was another technique. And the first time that we didn't get this house, when we lost this house, it fell through our fingers. I remember like late at night cleaning up in the kitchen, just being like, you know what? I don't think we need this house. We don't need this house. I don't care if we get this house. My life is great. My life is amazing. Where we live is fine. Everything is going to be okay if I don't get this house. I believe this here was the law of detachment in action, because I'm saying to my subconscious mind, like, I'm releasing the fear. I'm saying, you know, I would like it, I desire it, but I'm detached to the outcome, and I'm quite happy if I don't get the outcome. So that's the law of detachment in action. And also just, I think, really helped sort of calm my nerves, release that fear, and raise my vibration to be like, no, I'm good anyway. Okay, another thing that I had done looking back is I have a copy of Rhonda Byrne's Countdown to Riches book. And in it, on one of the days, you write down a list of like life goals, manifestations. I think in my notes app, I wrote it as manifestation list. So I didn't realize like when we bought the house, but when looking back, I was like, oh, number one was buy a house. And the price that I listed was really close to the price that we bought it at. And then I also wrote get chickens. And the owner is leaving a chicken house, a chicken hutch with the property. So we're getting chickens. So I forgot that I even did this list, but that's really cool to also do, is to get that book if you're interested. Otherwise, just like write down a list of, okay, no limits, money's not an option. Money is not a constraint. Just go crazy. Like, what in your life do you want to get? Exhaustive list. And be like, okay, it's done, forget about it, and then come back to it and see what you get, because I guarantee you will be able to tick things off. Okay, next one. Anytime you feel angry or frustrated that you're not getting the outcome that you want, and this is what I did that that Monday, I was sitting there being like, so annoyed. These houses weren't coming on the market. Nothing suited us. I was just like getting really, really impatient. And it was in that moment where I was like, no, just stop. This is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be free and flowing. It's not a low vibe activity. If I'm stuck in that bad energy, then I'm just going to bring that more bad energy into my aura. So I was getting annoyed, but I said, you know what? I'm done here. I'm going to circle back to this when I'm in a better state. So I closed my laptop, I exited out of that tab, and I just went on with my day. I totally forgot. And that was just really good in kind of, again, changing my vibration of like, get out of that yucky feeling. Okay. And that is what I had for you here. Now let's jump into the meat of the story here. Okay, let me look through my notes because I thought I put them in order and now I'm seeing that I clearly didn't. They're all over the place, but I want to keep this really succinct for you. Alrighty, here's the story. We're looking for a house. It's late June, early July. I don't remember the exact date, but it wasn't that long ago. So this house that we ended up buying, again, top of the market or top of our budget, but we're like, you know what? It's a stretch, but we're into it. Ticks our boxes. Great piece of land. Okay. We put in an offer. We had an amazing strategy. I'm so proud of the strategy we had. Doesn't matter because price wasn't high enough. Money talks, people. But we'll find out later that it didn't. Okay, so we lost out initially on this house. The agent was like, we put in the offer on Friday morning. The agent was like, cool. Talk to the guy, get back to you Monday at the latest. So crickets all week, don't hear anything. Then he's like, okay, Monday by 12 o'clock, we'll hear back. Okay, Monday, 12 o'clock, I'm hanging out with a friend. I'm having fun, doing things, living my life. And, at that point, I just thought, it's getting really late in the day. If we haven't heard, then I'm just assuming that I didn't get it. Like with a job, like when it's like you don't hear back from HR, well, you didn't get the job. Okay. Like there's a point where you just have to kind of cut the cord and move on with your life. So, heard kind of late Monday evening that we didn't get the property. And I'm bummed. I'm like, oh, bum. Like, I'm really thought that we were going to get that house. And I even remember saying to my mum over the weekend, like, whoa, I have like a strong feeling we're going to get this house. And she was like, I have a strong feeling you're going to get this house. So we're like, oh, kind of just vibing in that strong feeling for a while. But then the next day we didn't get the house. So I'm bummed. I'm a little confused too because the backyard view literally matched exactly what these pictures on my vision board were. So I'm like, oh, I must have misread the situation. Maybe the view is that the right house is coming for us, and this is just like a distraction in the meantime. Just kind of not getting bent out about it. Bummed, but also very proud of our strategy. I think we played it well. I had zero regrets. And then, so that was Monday. So I keep looking for houses that week. I went to a few open homes, like inspections that week. Nothing looked really good. It was like, oh, I don't know, like it would be a stretch for us to want to have this house, or like this is something that is not really what we're looking for, but we can be flexible, but we don't want to be too flexible. So the following Monday, actually, a week later, I found something that we liked that was within our budget, and I thought that could be a great fit. Call the agent. Here's a joke from the universe. That agent for that other listed house was the same guy as the house that we put the offer in on that we lost. So I'm like, hey, is this house free? Like, I want to come see this house. Oh, no, just sold that house. But the one that you put the offer in on last week is like looking kind of weird. So maybe if that falls through, I'll circle back to you. And I'm like, at that point, I'm just like, okay, like whatever, you sold the house. I don't know. He's just being a good salesman, I thought, because I thought, yeah, sure. You're just like keeping your leads warm. You just want me to, I don't know, maybe like keep me there just in case. But I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Not even into it at all. I'm like, in my head, this house is sold. I'm like, as if I hung up thinking that guy is like doing a good job for him. Like he's doing a good job. And then the next day, I'm looking at houses again and I'm just like, fuck, there are no houses available. Nothing is coming online quick enough. In Australia right now, there's like kind of a lull in the housing market. So I'm like, nothing is working. I'm getting so annoyed. I've probably been refreshing these pages like multiple times a day. And as soon as I felt like that negativity come over me, I thought, no, that's enough. You need to slow down. You need to just take a beat. You need to just step away for a minute and change your mood, change your state. So that's what I did. I exited out of that tab and shut my laptop, walked away, and lived my life that day. That Thursday, I get a call. I don't answer the call because I don't remember, but I get a voicemail. Hey, that deal fell through. So are you still interested in the property? And I'm like, oh, a bit suspicious. Like, cool, but like, why? I don't know. Like, very detached at this point. Like, okay, I'm like, but we did really like that house and that property. So let's like do it justice. We'll go back and take another look, talk to my husband. Yes, we're very interested, but we're playing it cool at this point. We are playing it cool, very nonchalant, but we also want the house. So I'm like, let's go check it out again. It's been a while. Let's look at it again. So we go to the house. It literally looks better than when we first saw it. The owner has painted the exterior. He's cleaned the exterior. He's continued to clean the interior. Like it's looking fab and it's nicer than when we first saw it and we were like, oh, it's like it's getting better and better. Okay, so yes, we do want this house. Surprise alert. Okay, great. Look around. Awesome, awesome. We're chatting to the agent outside the property and we're like, getting into the nuts and bolts of the deal. Yep, we want it. We give a verbal offer. We're negotiating terms, settlement times, and a couple other things. So I'm like, okay, cool. Can you go back in, talk to the owner? Like, let's get this done now. I wasn't interested in waiting. I did not want to create a lag on this because, like, money loves speed. And if you want a deal, you want to get it done quick. And I was like, let's just go in. You go talk to him, you come back out, and we'll like keep going through this until we find something we're all into. And that's what we did. So he goes in, he talks to the owner, comes back out. We decide on a settlement timeline, and he's like, you know what? The owner agrees, and he's going to pay you out of your lease to make sure this deal goes through. Like he's really committed to this, and we're like, okay, cool. Appreciate that. Extra bonus we weren't counting on, but that's awesome. Thank you. Uh, Owner agrees to leave the walk-in wardrobe on the property, the chicken hutch, a bunch of garage benches and cabinets. Amazing. So happy about that. And then the agent's like, yeah, I mean, the reason you lost this initially was the first people walked away from it. It just wasn't good timing. The second people had bought a house. So you were like the third in line. So we literally got this by default. And it was like we were the last ones standing essentially, which is not typically how this goes. And not just another way where I'm like, the universe was just like, you guys need to have this house. This is your house, guys. So we got the third pass at it. And this is why we were able to get it below the advertised range because, well, like the other people didn't get it. So we were like, okay, cool. Well, like our initial offer still stands. So we got a super deal. Okay, so we go to submit the offer officially. Everything's looking good. We're waiting for the contract. I'm just chilling. We're vibing for a day or something. So we submitted that offer Friday. And then the next day, Saturday, I'm just having an amazing morning, jumping back on my treadmill. And I go, oh, I'm just going to look at the house photos online. Like that would be fun. Okay, so I'm looking at the photos and on the little website is listed there's an open inspection that morning. And I'm like, okay, well, like our offer was already accepted. Don't know what's going on here. We're like waiting for the contract. They're putting the contract together. So I'm just, hey agent, what's up? Like, still listed as, you're having people view the house. And I the thing I got back was like, yeah, we're still trying to see if there's any interest just in case your deal falls through. And I'm like thinking, I do understand that. I would probably do the same thing in that situation. Like, yes, it does make sense to also have other leads for a property when you're at a time in the market where people are getting a bit of cold feet. People are kind of like, ooh, I don't know, where's the market going? Oil prices and stuff like that. Just uncertainty. So he's just trying to line up someone else in line in case we fall through. Totally get. I actually respect that. But at the same time, I was like a little bit emotional, being like, ooh, hang on. Like, what if they offer higher than us and we lose the fucking deal? So that was going through my mind. And again, I said, no, Mal, this is your house. It's already done. The fucking photos are on the vision board that you're looking at right now. So I just didn't text back. I was like, a happy place, go on a happy place, put on a fun podcast. And I just vibed out for like 45 minutes on the treadmill. We get the contract back on Monday. We're working through some conditions. We add a couple things. We sign the contract on Wednesday. House inspection comes back good. The guy's like, hey, everything looks pretty good. It's just minor stuff. I would have no hesitation in buying this house. Okay, fabulous. So that is how I manifested this house in a very unlikely situation, in a way that I thought this house was not going to come to us. It came in an incredibly miraculous way. And there were just so many little pieces on that journey where I was like, wait, no, the universe wants us to have this. No, the universe wants us to have this. The universe wants us to have this. And then, even after all of that, I'm like sitting here being like, oh, I wonder what school we would send our kids to, because like I hadn't thought about that yet. I'm sitting there like, oh, let me just quick jump online, see what school district we would be in. And literally, I could not make this shit up. This really cute, tiny school district that is very tiny, like the boundaries are very tiny. Whose fucking property does the boundary go through? It goes through our backyard, which means we can go to that school. Couldn't have made that shit up if I tried. We found this out days after this was already in motion. I was like speechless. I was like, the universe wanted this house for us. Okay, so all of that to say that those manifestation techniques, doing those consistently and like checking, like continuing to check myself in the moment of like, okay, no, you're losing the vibration. You're not staying happy. You're not staying in a state where you're going to attract that. Constantly checking myself was really helpful. And also doing those other things like affirmations and the tarot cards were incredible to get this house to literally land in our lap in a crazy, hard to guess way, and was quite miraculous. That was something I was quite shocked about, so happy about though also. But I do want to close this out by saying, and this is my big takeaway here, I want to highlight, if you're watching this or listening to this and you're like, yeah, Mel, easy for you, stuff like that doesn't happen to me, I'm in a really hard time right now, nothing seems to be going right, maybe you're just like, this doesn't happen for me, look at the world right now, how can we be thinking about ourselves, how can we be thinking about our goals, things are so challenging. I want to highlight that this happened, so this whole property thing happened probably less than a month. Like, it coincided almost exactly with me coming out of a 2-month depressive episode where I couldn't get out of bed, where I just wanted to be in the dark, where I just wanted to sleep all day. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to shower. I didn't want to talk to my kids. I literally just wanted to like exist in a hole, and it lasted for 2 months. So what I'm saying here is that this happening, manifesting this fucking quantum leap with the house, this happened after a very dark, challenging time in my life. And I think it was able to happen because I went through that. And I bounced back pretty quick in a very, very quick way in terms of manifesting things that I wanted during that depressive episode that I wasn't getting. But I want to say right now that we can think that we're never going to get out of a dip like that. You can think that this fucking hard time right now, this hard season is going to last forever. But I do want to say to you now that it does eventually clear. And I do truly feel like it prepares you to reach even taller heights than you were at before it. Because the shit that, like the exact shit that you went through is what you needed at that time to make you stronger. It gave you a different perspective. It gave you a resolve to create something better because, like, you've actually seen the darkness. You're like, no, I want the light. I'm here for the light. I'm clinging to the light. And here's the thing, like, without that depressive episode, I wouldn't be working out every day staring at my vision board. That came out of me not wanting to be depressed. I wouldn't be eating better without that depressive episode because me eating better was like, well, I want better mood, so I'm going to eat better. Literally came out of that 2-month depressive episode. I started hydrating more. I started getting more social time, so I'm less in my head. I'm having fun. I'm talking. I'm vibing with friends outside of my house. I'm committing to a more positive mindset as well because I truly believe that, like, if we want to manifest stuff, like, you got to be positive. You got to have a clear mindset. I truly believe all of those things put me in a state where I could manifest this house and all of the other additional incredible things that came with it. So keep the faith if you are going through a really hard time and know that the universe is preparing for you to be able to hold more as you expand more once you get out of that time. So you can do more, so you can be more, so you can create more, and ultimately, so you can give more to others. Last night, I was listening to Kiki Palmer's podcast and she interviewed Oprah. It's an amazing episode. I highly recommend it to everyone. And Oprah tells a beautiful anecdote on this podcast to Kiki. She tells her that she was one time in a, she's just gone through a lot. Poor Oprah was just bashed by the press for decades. And she was telling a story. She's literally sitting in the bathroom crying, and she has her friend Maya Angelou on the phone. And Maya says to her in such a beautifully poetic way, she says, "Stop crying now. Stop crying, Oprah. Stop crying now. God has already put a rainbow in the cloud for you. And I want you to say thank you because the rainbow is coming." And that was beautiful. I'm going to follow that up with Dolly Parton has a quote that says, "After the rain comes a rainbow." I also want to tell you that I've been reading Florence Scovel Shinn's book, The Game of Life and How to Play It. Beautiful book from the 1920s. So good. Manifestation book. Everything is in there. And I was listening to this. The audiobook is available on YouTube. So check that out. And on one of the pages, she's talking about the darkest. Well, she's reminding us that it's darkest before the dawn. And someone said to her, well, like, how long is this darkness going to last? Because literally, like, when you're in it, you're like, this is going to last forever. That's how I felt when I was in it. And she says, when you can start to see in the dark, that is when you start to move through the darkness. That was beautiful. I'm going to also add here, I read Eileen Caddy's Footprints on the Path. And she was saying to me this morning, our darkest moments are leading us back to God so that our consciousness is raised and that we begin to realize or remember our oneness with Source. And only then will we manifest our dreams and find kingdom on earth. So don't lose hope. Have the faith. Practice your manifestation techniques consistently. And these incredible, badass historical icons have this to say, that all the answers are within you and you can create the change that you want in your life. And I certainly know and trust that you are doing that. Thank you. I love you. Have an amazing day. And I'll catch you on the next episode of Full Time Freedom.